Yes, guys. So we finally heard from Levy and Vinai yesterday. Let's start off with the positive thing about it. It's good to actually hear Levy speaking. I've been saying the last few weeks that we need to hear from the club. We need to hear what's going on, and we saw that 7-minute interview yesterday. So that was good. That we actually heard what he had to say about the season, winning the Europa League, about Ange. Levy says that he wants Spurs to win the league and the Champions League, and that failure is not an option. I mean, look, it's really, really difficult to believe it. 25 years they've been managing this club, and there's been so many bad decisions around managers, recruitment, priorities, whatever. Yes, we have been in finals. Yes, we've been in semi-finals. We've qualified for the Champions League. We had I would say one title push under Poch, possibly two, but we ended up finishing third in that season. Don't think we really truly believed that we could win the league. But look, and then there's the argument that that was at that point it was the managers. Up to the manager to kind of get the team over the line. And that's not all Levy's fault, and I get that. But my perspective on these kind of near misses, not getting over the line enough in big moments throughout the 25 years Levy and the board have been in place, is that yes, we've had good first teams, but it's what comes in after them. The backups, when you have injuries, coming up against some of the top sides in the Premier League in Europe, the recruitment has been nowhere near good enough. The whole thing about the youngsters, bringing in young players with potential, and that's always been the kind of cycle under Levy. That's the kind of recruitment is bringing in younger players and hoping that they can get the team over the line. But it's very difficult to do, right? Really, really difficult to do. So I just think that, it's all right, well and good Levy saying, failure's not an option. And that's what's happened, isn't it, really? The recruitment, not breaking the wage structure, missing out on top players, going for the easy option, the cheaper option, rather than going out and actually bringing in what we need in that moments, in those seasons under those managers. We could talk about Mourinho, Poch, Conte. You don't need me to tell you what went wrong and who we didn't get. Redknapp, for example. And I just find it so difficult to believe what Levy is saying, because we just ain't done it, have we? We've failed season in, season out. 2 trophies in that 25 years. And Levy says, look, he wants to win the Champions League, wants to win the league. Great, lovely, yeah. But all these words we need to see put into action. And this summer transfer window will really tell us if they actually mean what they're saying. Until I see them, like I did a video yesterday, until I see these top players coming in, not just unknowns, not just young players, it's just, what they're saying is just meaningless. Absolutely meaningless. Recruitment time, get some 3 or 4 top players in who are going to help Frank in the new season. Don't just buy unknowns and kids. Yeah, be serious. If you want to win the Premier League or work towards that, win the Champions League, be more competitive next season, the recruitment has got to be much, much better. Last summer, transfer window was just all kids and Solanke. I just struggle. And I've seen the reaction on social media of this Levy interview, and, people are just brutal. They just don't believe a word what Levy has said in that interview yesterday. And I totally get it. The club have failed over the last 25 years. They haven't done enough. We build this stadium. Everyone's thinking, great, you build this stadium to be able to compete with the top sides in the Premier League and Europe. It hasn't happened. Yes, we won the Europa League last season. Fantastic. Now we've got to push on. Yeah, and it's all about the recruitment. Yeah, if I can see that there's a change in that, then maybe they mean what they say. But until then, it's just same old, isn't it? Same old. Vinai, a good speaker he seems. How long is he going to last working with Levy? You know, they were very happy together, you know, a lot of respect for each other. But, you know, Vinai, you've only been here 5 minutes. Let's see how you feel after a couple of seasons with the old spending the money thing and decisions. And, like, you know, Levy and this board, they have too much control over transfers. You know, the manager comes in, needs to make the final call on decisions on transfers. You know, it's got to run through them. Do you want this player, Frank? Yeah. You know, club signings, it's you know, you need a manager to make the decisions on transfers, so that he knows that, you know, that player comes in, he needs that player, he wants that player, you know, it's going to work in his system. You know, like, he's just joined, already re-signed Ben Davies for a year. You know, we've re-signed, and Frank's given the all clear on that. But look, a lot more needs to be done. And as I keep saying now, we're in a crucial stage in this summer transfer window where it can make or break us for next season. Yes, Frank will get more out of this side with his tactics, his organisation. He will. We will see an improvement next season. How far he can take us, I don't know. I don't know. Again, it's all to do with what players we're going to bring in, how the players that we currently got adjust to Frank's tactics. But look, lot to talk about, a lot more to happen in this summer transfer window. We will see. Guys, give us your thoughts on that 7-minute interview. You like myself, you know, it's hard to really take it seriously. Or has that given you any kind of new hope that things can change at Spurs and they can actually start being serious of what happens on that football pitch? Again, you know, words, put it into action, and then we can start actually thinking that, you know, maybe things are changing. Anyway, guys, thank you for watching the video. Please smash the like button. If you haven't subscribed, please do. Have a great day. Take care of yourselves. Last night I did Inside Spurs Minds episode 1. We didn't quite finish it, so we're going to do another part 2 next week with Jacob. Really good show, cracking show. Really interesting to hear you know, Jacob's journey supporting Spurs. And, you know, I was just talking alongside him, my thoughts on all sorts of things as well. We didn't finish it, so we're going to finish it off next week. A really good watch. Yeah, get down and check that one out. Other than that, guys, take care of yourselves. And as always, come on, you Spurs.